Many tourists dream of visiting England. Most of the sights of this country are the most recognizable in the world. Big Ben, Tower Bridge, who doesn't know these names? The famous English love of order can be appreciated even in the parks and botanical gardens of this country. They are kept perfectly clean. The arrangement of flower beds and alleys in them is impeccably designed. Let's check out 14 best places to visit in England. Number 14. Rochester Castle. The status of the most symbolic landmark of Great Britain is perhaps worthy of Rochester Castle, a true symbol of England and its pride. A fortress with almost 1,000-year history is located in Kent, half an hour's drive from London. In those years, the main purpose of building the castle was to block the path of the conquerors to the English capital, and it is worth saying that the powerful stone structure completely coped with this task, despite numerous sieges. And even after repeated restorations, the majestic castle retained its original appearance, and today it is a striking example of Norman architecture. Throughout its history, the fortress inspired the writer Dickens and the artist Turner. Its first floor was used for storerooms. The commandant lived on the second, and the owner and his retinue lived on the third. In the vicinity of the castle, you can see fragments of thick fortress walls, and the 38-meter donjon tower is one of the best preserved monuments of the Middle Ages. Number 13. Madame Tussauds, London. Along with Big Ben, a real symbol of London and the whole of Great Britain is the Madame Tussauds Wax Gallery, a museum with a human face, or more precisely, with 1,000 faces represented in all branches of the famous museum. This establishment was founded back in the 19th century by the famous female sculptor Marie Tussaud. Her passion for creating wax figures was her life's work, and the first works were exhibited to the general public in 1835. It was at this time that the ancient museum was opened, and half a century later, the collection moved to another building in the Marylebone Quarter, where it remains to this day. The exhibition included sculptures of actors, politicians, musicians, athletes, writers, representatives of the royal dynasty, film characters, and other famous personalities. History buffs are recommended to visit two halls set aside specifically for Napoleon. Science buffs will see realistic figures of scientists. Every year, the number of people visiting Madame Tussauds is about 3 million people. Number 12. Tower Bridge. The neo-Gothic style part drawbridge, part suspension bridge spans the Thames and is located close to the tower, another symbol of Britain, which lights up at night with hundreds of lights. From the bridge, you can watch slowly moving ships and take memorable photos. Number 11. Buckingham Palace. The official residence of Elizabeth II, Queen of England, in London. Fans of this landmark of England compare it to a small town. It has its own cinema, disco, several sports clubs, a bar, a hospital, post offices, and police. 3 miles of red carpet and 600 rooms, including staterooms, are serviced daily by more than 700 employees. It is also worth buying a ticket in advance. Number 10. Wembley Stadium. On the days of international football matches, when all the hotels in England are occupied by fans of the number 1 game, this stadium with red stands is visible to the whole world. The country's national team conducts its training here, and Champions League competitions are organized here. The date of foundation of the new stadium, the previous one was demolished back in 2003, is 2007. Number 9. Leeds Castle. Every tourist should see with his own eyes the most beautiful medieval building located on the Lake Islands near the Lynn River. At one time, it was used as the residence of the royal family. Here are the bedrooms of Catherine of Aragon and Lady Bailey, the banquet hall of King Henry VIII, and the library of Master Boudin. Number 8. The Lost Gardens of Heligan, a huge botanical garden with unique stone figures and exotic plants. It was also included in the list of best attractions in England for its original woven wire people that welcome guests throughout the territory. Its own jungle, flower, and vegetable gardens. Number 7. Yorkshire Dales National Park. Even a brief description of this attraction of England arouses interest in it. Charming villages and towns, waterfalls and valleys, ideal for hiking, cave systems open to the public within the boundaries of the park area, rivers and stone walls, endless heaths and lush green pastures where cattle and sheep roam. Number 6. Project Eden. Recommendations from local flora and fauna lovers will certainly lead you to this botanical garden. It is located in the county of Cornwall, and is especially famous for its unique greenhouse. Geodesic domes have collected plants from all over the earth. Number 5. Hadrian's Wall. The length of this historical landmark of England is 117 kilometers. It was built in 1-1-8 by the Romans to protect against attacks by the Brigantes and Picts. About 15 years ago, a hiking trail was opened for tourists along the defensive structure. Reviews from travelers claim that a walk along the rampart will be interesting not only for lovers of history and natural beauty, but also for people with any other vacation preferences. Number 4. Hyde Park. Few places in England are as rich in attractions as Royal Hyde Park. There is the famous Speaker's Corner, an animal cemetery, a memorial in honor of Princess Diana, the Wellington Museum, the statue of Achilles. The list goes on for a long time. Folk festivals, large-scale celebrations, and political rallies are regularly held in the park. Number 3. Lake District National Park. The natural attractions of England are no less interesting than the country's man-made masterpieces. An example is the park, founded in 1951. Its total area is 885 square miles. The Lake District is famous for its superb panoramic views and lush countryside, mountain and lake landscapes. The nature here is so unpredictable that in one day it can show all for seasons. Number 2. London Big Ben. When planning your trip and exploring the main attractions of England, do not forget about the clock tower of the Palace of Westminster, created more than 150 years ago. Commemorative clocks proclaim the most important events of the state, the advent of the new year, minutes of silence, etc. Until recently, it was Big Ben that had the largest dial on Earth. Not a single photo or description can convey the full grandeur of the main symbol of London. Number 1. Windsor Castle. It is no coincidence that we begin our review from the stronghold and residence of the British monarchs, rising on a hill in the Thames Valley. It was built in 1070 and today is considered the most romantic building in the country. Moreover, thanks to its dimensions of 580 meters by 165 meters, Windsor Castle was included in the Guinness Book of Records as the largest castle in the whole world. If you don't know what to see in England in one day, go here. You won't be disappointed.